Singapore is incredibly efficient, which shocks a lot of foreigners. Doesn't matter if you're dealing with a government body or with a private entity, rest assured your issue will be resolved in a fast and efficient manner. In today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 personal examples when Singapore was shockingly efficient, which surprised me in a positive way. My first efficiency shock with Singapore was even before I arrived in Singapore. As a European expat, I had to apply for a Singaporean work visa. It's called Employment Pass, and based on my experience with Western bureaucracy, I thought this process would take weeks, if not months. For example, when I applied for a US work visa, I had to come to the US embassy in person, wait for 1 hour in the queue, and bring this pile of documents. Another example, a friend of mine who was relocating from Ireland to the United Kingdom around the same time I was relocating from Ireland to Singapore had to wait for her UK visa for 2 months. Like me, that person was relocating through a big tech company, so you would think if that's famous and well-known company, the process should be short and sweet, but that was not the case with the United Kingdom. She waited 2 months for the visa. In my case, I A. did not have to go to the Singaporean embassy in person. B. I did not have to queue for 1 hour. C. I had to submit online just 5 documents instead of bringing a pile of documents to the embassy. And D. the whole process took just 3 business days. If you count weekend, it's 5 days. So a friend of mine who was relocating from one European country to another European country literally next door had to wait 2 months for the work visa. The same process for me took just 3 days, and I was relocating from Europe to the other part of the world. My second shock was related to the housing market here in Singapore. When I relocated, I had to find a new apartment, and you would assume that since Singapore is a small island nation with a large population, there would be high demand and low supply. I was pleasantly surprised when I checked local websites that the supply is actually quite high. Just to give you an idea, a few months before relocating to Singapore, I also had to find a new apartment in Ireland. And in Dublin, the housing market is in a very bad condition. You have a lot of demand and very low supply. So what happened to me in Ireland just a few months prior to relocating to Singapore, I submitted 15 viewing applications and I got response to just 2 of them. This means that other landlords got so many requests, they just ignored the majority of them and picked people randomly. In my case, I was the lucky guy for 2 viewings. When I viewed those apartments, I was not fully happy with what I saw, but I knew that if I delay this for too long, I will end up on the street. Therefore, I accepted one of the apartments, even though I was not extremely happy with it. A few months later, I relocated to Singapore, and I thought, well, since Singapore is way smaller than Ireland, and you have a population equal or even bigger here in Singapore than in Ireland, I would probably face even worse conditions when it comes to housing hunt. And I was pleasantly surprised that that was not the case. I also sent 15 viewing applications here in Singapore, and I was invited to 10 of them as opposed to 2 back in Dublin. And when I came for the viewing, I was very happy with what I saw, and in 5 cases, the landlord was ready to give me the key straight away. In Dublin, you have to fight for the landlords, but here in Singapore, landlords have to fight for you. Until today, I'm shocked with how efficient housing market in Singapore is. There is enough space for expats and locals. There's no shortage of housing. Everyone has a place to stay, and the prices are reasonable compared to salaries you're getting. If Singapore, a small island nation with a large population, can solve its housing crisis, anyone can. Changi Airport in Singapore is very fast and efficient. It was recognized as the best airport in the world 12 times this century. When my European friends visit me, the first thing they tell me not just how beautiful Changi Airport is, but how fast and smooth their experience was at the border control and with the luggage. Just to give you an idea, when you arrive to any country in the world, you have to wait 10, 20, sometimes even 30 minutes just to get to the border control counter. Once you get there, the process is very quick and smooth in other countries, but then you have to wait 10, 20 or 30 minutes to actually talk to the border officer. In Singapore, Singapore, you don't have to talk to a border control officer. The only thing you have to do is to scan your passport, and the whole process takes just a few seconds. There are no queues in the Singapore airport to scan your passport. And if you are local, or like myself, you are on a work visa, then you don't even have to show your passport. Changi Airport was one of the first airports in the world to implement a so-called passport-free border control, which means that they only scan your face and allow you into the country. When it comes to luggage collection, Changi Airport provides a fast and smooth experience. I remember there was a moment when I came to the luggage collection area and my luggage was still not there. There was an announcement that there will be a 5 to 10 minutes delay, and immediately an officer working in the airport showed up with free snacks and free bottles of water, apologizing and compensating for the delay in the luggage collection. To me, that was such a bizarre experience, because back in Europe, in some cases you get your luggage straight away, in some cases you have to wait 5, 10, 20 or even 30 minutes to collect your luggage, and no one in Europe apologizes for that. But here they did apologize for that. They made an announcement and they also compensated you with free bottles of water and free snacks. Mind-blowing. Another efficiency shock for me here in Singapore was when I was dealing with a local bank. First of all, when I arrived to Singapore, I had to apply for a bank card. Back in Europe, you will need to go to the bank in person, fill out a long form, and then wait 1 or 2 weeks for the bank card to arrive to your address. Here in Singapore, I did everything online. I opened a bank application, fill out a very short form, and then the bank card arrived to my address a few days later. There was another shocking experience with a Singaporean bank. When I lost my bank card, this time I physically went to the local Singaporean bank branch, and I was expecting a long queue and filling out a long form, but instead the lady at the reception brought me to a small room with an ATM looking machine. I dialed my name and my address, and the machine gave me a bank card straight away. The whole process took just like 2 or 3 minutes, and I was like, what is that? Is that a bank card? Yes, that's your bank card. You can start using it straight away. So I don't need to wait a few weeks for the bank card to arrive to my address? No, here's your bank card, go and use it. That was shocking to me. And finally, what shocked me here in Singapore was how clean McDonald's in Singapore is. Back in Europe, McDonald's is okay. It's not too clean, but not too dirty. In the United States, the story is a little bit different. I don't really go to McDonald's in the US because of the cleanliness issues. But here in Singapore, McDonald's is just spotless. I think cleanliness goes hand in hand with efficiency. Singapore is a very clean city in general, and as a result, any part of Singapore, including McDonald's, is also very clean, which was a cultural shock for me. So these are 5 examples of cultural or efficiency shocks. After staying in Singapore for a while, I noticed that I started taking Singapore's efficiency for granted, just like locals. And I also started expecting other countries to be as efficient as Singapore. So sometimes I have to remind myself that Singapore is a unique city and you shouldn't be expecting the same level of efficiency everywhere. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to live and work here in Singapore. I'll see you in my next video.